Well, welcome to Talkin Sheridan here at SheridanHotspot.com. I'm Dave Wooten, and today we're in the office of Jessica Weaver over at Weaver Insurance, and she's actually got a brand new office. Very nice.
Thank you.
Did you decorate?
Oh, yeah.
Or did Jim decorate it?
No, I actually did.
Yeah, no, it looks very nice.
Thank you.
People didn't know Papa John's is coming to Sheridan, and they're actually building right next door. So you'll have drive-up pizza. You can have drive-up insurance, and with that, we'll give you a pepperoni pizza. Something to think about.
Yeah.
I'm actually here today. I wanted to come talk to you because flood insurance. Mm-hmm. So I was talking to somebody the other day about flood insurance, and I'm like, wait a minute, you're telling me some things that I didn't know about. And so I said, hey, I know an insurance person. Mm-hmm. I'll go talk to Jessica. So tell me, flood insurance, am I really more likely to have a flood at my house than I am a fire? Is that true?
Yes, that's true. In a 30-year mortgage, your percentage of flooding is 26% versus 9% of fire.
But also a flood, though, I mean, we think in terms of just, you know, like a levee breaking or the river overflowing, but it can also mean like your house, your foundation giving away due to
heavy rains.
Heavy rain. So that's included in flood insurance.
Yes, that is. If you're on a hill and it's raining, it can damage the soils around your foundation. The pressure of the water up against your foundation can cause it to crack, and then eventually your house could collapse.
And that would be covered under flood insurance.
That's a flood insurance.
So if somebody's listening to this and they live on a hill, and they're like, well, I live on a hill, I don't need flood insurance.
Right.
You might.
You might. You very well could.
Is flood insurance expensive?
Well, it all depends on where you're at.
How about, is it expensive if I come to you?
Well, no. I'll save you up to 40%.
Really? Can you? Is it? I mean, you can actually save me
Yes, I
money?
can. I got creative about a year or two ago. I was tired of seeing the rates with the National Flood Insurance Program. I didn't like the coverages they were offering. So I did some research and found two carriers that will write policies on their own forms. It's a private company. Just like as if you would go to your homeowner's insurance, it's written that way. They provide more coverage than the NFIP, such as your contents in your basement through the NFIP are not covered. So all your TVs and furnished basement contents.
So my new flat screen 78-inch
no
HD wouldn't be covered.
On the NFIP policy.
Right.
Right.
But on one of these other ones that you can get, you're saying that would be.
Yes, you get full basement coverage.
Do you live in an area that's a high flood zone, like next to one of the creeks, creek, wherever you're from? You have to have it there, right?
If you have a mortgage, it's required. It's mandatory purchase through the government.
Let me ask you this. What about, we have a lot of ranchers around here. Is there any difference in the coverage between like if you have a ranch as opposed to just like a house in town?
Through the NFIP program, a ranch house.
And that's the government program.
This is the government program. They're going to want every building on a ranch insured on separate policies. So you got the dwelling insured, you got the barn, everything that's on a loan has to be insured, so they're going to be putting them on separate policies. So the house could cost them, if they're in a high-risk flood zone, $4,000 a year. Then the barn over here for $200,000, you know, replacement cost could cost them $1,000. So this can add up to $15,000 real quick. Whereas with the private carrier that we have, you can bundle all the buildings on one policy, list them out for the replacement cost, list how much business income you make off of that, and then it gives you...
So it's kind of prorated.
Yeah, it's all in there, all inclusive in the policy.
So why would anybody do the other policy?
Probably
They not
because
know?
lack of knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you've got a ranch and you're on that policy, you should be calling Jessica right now.
Right. When I first started in flood insurance, there was a rancher down in Wheatland, big ranch, and he had 6 outbuildings, not including his dwelling, and he was paying $8,900 a year.
Just for flood?
Just for flood. Where I came in a year later after I found this private carrier and quoted him, and it would be on a commercial flood policy, but I saved him $5,000. It knocked that much off there. And gave him more coverage.
So if people listening to this have a question about flood insurance, I mean any insurance, I mean you're an insurance agent.
Right.
But we're talking flood insurance here today. They can just call you and you can...
Yeah, I can run the flood zone determination. That basically says what flood zone you're in. B, C, X, D, or A.
What's the bad one?
A.
A, okay.
A. That takes literally 2 seconds. If they're not already mapped on the FEMA's website, then it will take a couple days for it to get back to us. They have to manually map it. But once we get that flood zone determination, I can go in and quote it for, I don't know, 5 minutes it takes to...
Okay. Oh, that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you've got questions about your flood insurance, call Jessica. It's Jessica Weaver, Weaver Insurance. As we close here, so tell me if I'm wrong here. This is what I got out of our little podcast here today, that there's a big difference between what the government offers for flood insurance and what the private carriers, which you can get the private carrier insurance,
Yes.
what they offer.
Yes.
So you might want to check into, what your policy is, and
Right.
you might be able to save some bucks out there.
Yes, bucks, and you in the long run you get you're going to get better coverage. You're going to get treated individually. If there is a claim, you have an adjuster come out and adjust your individual loss. Whereas FEMA, if they came in, you're intense. It's
The government. What does the government do well?
Plus, with the private carriers, what I like is businesses get the business income replacement and farmers get their business income replacement, and you'll get the additional living expense on your residence. So if you can't live in it, they're going to pay you to live elsewhere, to feed your family, to put clothes on them if your home's completely flooded and you can't live there.
Hey, you want to be put in a tent or the Hampton?
Yeah, it's your choice.
All right, so call Jessica. It's Jessica Weaver at Weaver Insurance, and she can answer your questions. And thanks for answering mine today. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for being on Talkin Sheridan on SheridanHotspot.com.